All right,
Welcome back. I'm Silas, this is Sean, the big man at Kai Coffee, and we are here with an exciting one today. If you've ever thought about or you've been thinking about recently how to start a cafe, we've got a great one in store for you today.
This is the episode for you. Yeah, so at Kai Coffee, we are in our 13th year of business now. And over the course of that, we've helped launch, probably 200 to 300 cafes and venues who want to do coffee and learn a few things along the way. And so we thought this would be a great forum to talk about sort of three main things that you should be thinking through before you start. And keyword there is before, because sometimes we meet people that are in the middle of that process who maybe haven't thought through some of these things, but we want to save you time, money, energy, and mistakes.
Saving from making a whole heap of mistakes.
Yeah.
Anyone that's done this journey before will tell you that they've had to go through a lot of different things. Now, if you can learn some of those things before you make those mistakes, you're in for a lot less heartache, not necessarily no heartache, but a lot less heartache. And hopefully we can line you guys and help you line up so that you can flow right into an efficient and successful cafe from the start.
That's right. So we're going to get into those three. But before we do, if you like this content or any of the stuff we've been putting out recently, would you do us a huge favor and go ahead and smash that like, subscribe button. You can hit the little notifications bell, and then every time we make one of these videos, boom, you're going to get an email saying, Kai Coffee just launched a new video, and that would mean the world to us. So we're going to do our best to keep putting out good content for you. Leave comments, anything that you want topics covered from us, we'd love to do so.
Yeah, reach out, let us know. Anyway, we need to get into it, Sean.
Let's get into it. So the number one thing that you need to think through before starting a coffee shop, a cafe, or any business really is, what is your why?
Why is so important. Now, understanding why do I want to start a cafe? For every single person, that's a different answer. Now you need to drill that all the way down until you get to that main focus. For my wife and I, before we started our first cafe, we loved Australian coffee culture and we loved the community that it encompassed. So when we started our first cafe, our biggest focus was creating an environment where we could bring great coffee into an amazing environment so our community could build and people could hang around us. Now I know for Sean, when he first started, he and his wife had a different name.
That's right. So our why, when we started Kai Coffee, I'd come from a nonprofit background, traveled all over the world, and we really wanted to start a business that would help facilitate paying for and growing an orphanage that we helped pioneer in Uganda, Africa. So a bit of a different focus to Silas. We were like, could we, as an experiment, to be fair, could we roast coffee and sell it at markets and generate enough money to help our friends pioneer this work in Uganda? And it's been amazing all along the way. We actually did that. It's called the Shepherd Center. It's in the western corner of Uganda, Kabale town. And now we've got a space that can hold up to 50 kids, pay for their school fees. Bought a soccer field next to it, built an entire center, and it's amazing. But that was really our focus from the beginning, was can we create a really good product that everyone loves, coffee, and use that and the proceeds from that to start something that we really believe in, which is helping kids in Africa. So
So your aim, your main driving force doesn't need to be the same as mine, doesn't need to be the same as Sean's, but it's really important to break it down. If you're out by yourself, take some time away. If you're with a partner, take some time with your partner and really bring it to that singular point where you go, what is it that I want to own a cafe, a coffee shop? Why do I want to own that? How do I want to be a part of that? And what's going to drive me? Because as we go through business, in any business, just not the coffee realm, in any business, you need to understand your why, because that's what's going to help get you up early in the morning. That's going to help you clean the bathrooms late at night when everyone else has gone home. That's what's going to drive you when you go over a couple of speed bumps. But the important thing is that you go over speed bumps, and the why is how you're going to get there.
That's right. So there's a lot of books written about this. There's a ton of stuff on YouTube. You can search about defining your why to kind of help you get there. But we just really encourage you. You got to sit down, probably get a little bit quiet and figure out why do I want to do this thing? All right, number 2 in our list here is what? What do you want to create?
Yeah.
There is an endless amount of possibilities of different styles of cafes, espresso bars, restaurants.
Hole in the wall,
Super
drive-through.
foodie, super basic. Like
Yeah.
there's all different concepts that you can do. But the question is, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
I remember listening to Dave Ramsey once, and he talks about in one of his leadership books. I think it's called Entree Leadership or something. But he says, I'm going to miss this, so don't be mad at me, Dave. You need to dream in high definition, meaning it's good to sit down, grab your business partner or your spouse or whoever it is that's doing this journey with you, and get a notebook pad out and just dream for a minute of where do you see yourself in 5-10 years? What do you think this venture, this business could look like, should look like, that you want? Like, what do you want to create? Because a lot of times what we've seen is people who don't have that clear-cut ambition or clear idea of what they're trying to build, and they go out and they get a space that's too small or maybe way too big, and in reality they just wanted a little coffee thing. So you really need to figure out, what is it, if everything went according to plan, what does that thing look like? You can be high definition from Dave Ramsey is put yourself there, sit in a chair, like just really think it through and really just dream it out. What exactly would this look like, feel like, smell like? What's the menu? What's the food? What kind of equipment do I have? Like so many things. And the more crystal clear you can get about that end goal, end picture, the better that's going to help you in starting right and starting smart from the beginning.
Yeah, I think a really big key here is what we're creating is, hey, what is it that I already specialize in? Am I focused 100% just on coffee? Do I have a background just on coffee? Do I want that? And is it going to encompass just this as my primary focus and the other things are auxiliary to that? Or do I want to create something larger and bigger? And within inside of that, how do I want it to feel? Now, Sean said, hey, dream that high definition. That is a big, how does it feel? What are we creating? If it is a hole in the wall or if it is a drive-through, do we want it to have an artsy feel? Do we want it to have a cozy feel, even though our interactions are limited to 2 minutes per customer? How do we create that? If that's what you want, that's what you've got to go for, but you need to outline and dictate that from the start.
That's right. So let's get into point number 3. And this one just sort of is a smooth transition from 1 and 2. So we've got our why. Why are we doing this in the first place? We've got our what, of what are we trying to create? And the third point is where. You've heard it said, location, 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 how important this is in any brick and mortar kind of business. Where you're located really, really matters. So there's a couple of things that we want you guys to think through when you're starting your cafe. Number 1 is, based on your what, that's going to determine the sort of square meters or square feet, if you're in America, building that you're going to need. Because if you want to have a really pumping espresso bar, well, you don't need some huge space with lots of seating. But if you want an amazing restaurant or amazing cafe with incredible food, and you buy a tiny little hole-in-the-wall espresso bar, you're going to be very limited in terms of what sort of food you can create. So you need to think through, take that what now, and you're going to start to maybe narrow down and just say, I need X amount of floor space to accomplish my goal. That's step number 1. How big of a business do you need?
Yeah, and definitely going on from that, we need to think about this where as well. So if I wish to focus purely on delivering an amazing product of just coffee alone, I might need a smaller hole-in-the-wall style. However, I can't go and do that in a regional country town because there is not enough people there. Yeah, the rent might be cheap, but I do not have enough people flowing through my door every single day to support myself, let alone anyone else. So understand our dream of what we want needs to go hand in hand of where is actually a viable business solution. So that where goes location, price. Are there enough people in that market? Are there enough people that can support that? If the rent's a little higher because I've got a lot of people, can I actually get away with a medium size, or do I really want that deluxe large space per customer to sit in? And if so, if I am out in a suburb somewhere, do I create a destination? So it goes both ways. We definitely need to be assessing our rent. We definitely need to be assessing how many people are in the area, and that ties directly to what we're trying to create.
That's right. So here in Australia, there's a few things that I've also noticed that are quite vital if you want to have a very successful cafe. What's around you? So
Yeah.
if you have a cafe that does a lot of takeaway and you just happen to be across the street from a school, that's perfect because you have all these parents, moms and dads, who drop their kids off at school, and what do they want to do? Go grab a coffee.
And they're already out of the car. The car's already parked, and that's a big thing.
Exactly right. So that's one thing to think through is what's around you. So there's schools are great. A couple of things, at least for us, Australia, most of the cities and towns around Australia are obviously coastal. So the closer you can get to the beach, if not on the beach, the better. I feel like, man, if you have like an epic little vibe and it's right near the ocean, and if you can see the ocean, even better. So that's great. If you're not on the ocean, there's other things like even any kind of water, I feel like kind of helps. If you're near a waterway, if you're near a lake or a pond or something like that where there's people who are coming with their kids to play. So that's one thing. But the other one is a park. So I've noticed that too.
Yeah.
If there's a park right next to your cafe, there's moms groups, play groups, there's lots of kids and interaction where they're coming with their friends to play. And so their parents are standing there thinking, gosh, I could really use a coffee right now.
Yeah.
And if you're right there, that's amazing. So
Yeah.
if you can get near the beach and near a park, it's like, this is amazing. But then the last thing to really consider is how much parking is around you.
Yeah.
I
And
feel
quick
like-
parking too.
Yeah. I've seen some spaces that are like actually on the beach and is a park right there, but there's nowhere to park your car. And so they're not as busy as the place that is really easy to pop in and pop out. And there's water and there's a park. So you got to think about those things and really think through like how easy is it going to be for people to get here.
Yeah, and with that, you can then target your branding to go alongside that. If you're in the middle of a CBD in a little hole in the wall, you probably don't need to go and buy a giant billboard and say, hey, come to my cafe, because people are walking past. If you're a little bit further out in the suburbs, then how are we going to brand? How are we going to market? And what is that demographic we're aiming to? Is it just the holiday coastal crowd, or are we going purely to the suburban mums that are going to the playground across the road? So that branding stems straight inside of where we are and what we're creating.
So that's it, friends. Thanks so much for joining us. Just remember to think through those three things: the why, the what, and the where. And that will give you a great start before you launch your next cafe. If you are starting a new cafe, tell them what we've got, Silas.
Well, reach out to us. We've got a wealth of knowledge. We've got a wealth of understanding, and we're here to help you. And we've got the best product around as well. So jump on board, hey?
I've got to say too, I love working with new entrepreneurs. It's super fun. You get that like spark of life and just the passion and the drive to go create something out of nothing like that. That is super exciting for me and for us as a company. So if you are looking to start in Australia, we'd love to support you. Also New Zealand, we've got one starting there this year, which is super exciting. So potentially some more cafes in New Zealand would be incredible. Everyone else, sorry, we can't really get it to you at the moment, but if you are here in Australia, we love you. We would love to work with you. So give us a call. And don't forget, like and subscribe. We really appreciate you guys. Have a great day. And
Catch you again next time.